Hi there, I'm Kylie Mowbray-Allen from Hello Media.
And I'm Jenni Walke from Elephant in the Room Consulting, and you're tuning into Bite-Sized Business Live Podcast, the show that helps business owners get clarity and insight to grow their dream business.
Whether you're launching, ready to scale, or figuring out what's next, we discuss the nitty-gritty, the hard bits, the opportunities, and the behind the scenes, and share how we've grown our own companies and helped others do the same.
We're glad you're here. Good morning and hi there, everyone. This is Jenni Walke from Elephant in the Room Consulting and Kylie Mowbray-Allen from Hello Media, and you're tuning into Bite-Sized Business Live Podcast, the show that helps small business owners get clarity and insight to grow their dream business. It is Friday, so it is our amazing day time to chat with you today. Kylie, how are you?
Yay, so excited to chat with you today, Jenni. I'm going great. How about you?
I'm good. It's been a big week, an up and down week. One of those weeks for learnings in business. I've realized that sometimes things go wrong, things go to crap, and what do we have to do? We have to find a way through it and get past it and move on. And that's being in business. That's being an entrepreneur. That's trying new things. And I think that's been my lesson. I think my mantra is about acceptance and creating lessons, I think.
Yes, so good. I so agree with you. Some weeks are just crap and things go pear-shaped. But if you can get to Friday and go, I really learned some good stuff from that crap that happened this week, then that's a good thing, right?
Exactly. Well, I think we also often forget, we see, and I think social media, and we all love social media for the purpose of business, I'm sure. But we know that it's hard sometimes because everybody only shows up and shows you the great things that happen in their business.
Yes.
And they never really talk about the stuff that goes bad, unless you come and join my coaching program and I'll tell you the things that went bad and how to fix it. Don't make me pay to tell me the stuff. Just tell me what went wrong. And I know we did a post yesterday to say, look, we had a hiccup with something this week, but you know what? It happens, and I can't ruminate over it. There's no point in me getting, waiting in the kind of mark. It's about saying, okay, well, let's look through, let's identify where the flaws were, let's fix that so it doesn't happen again. And that's a lesson I can share when we do coaching. That's a lesson I can share with any client. I think it's really important that we start being real about what being in business is about. And that's why I love these chats with you on a Friday, because we talk about real stuff, the stuff that really you need to know and understand and lean into when you're a business owner.
Absolutely. I, on the other hand, had quite a positive week where I ticked a lot of boxes, and that feels really good. Well, not just me, with my team, we had a lot of team meetings in the various parts of the business, and we were just ticking. And that feels good, because some weeks it feels like you get to Friday and you haven't ticked anything off. So it feels like a box ticking week, which is a success for sure.
I completely agree with that. But today we're talking about box ticking things we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, which is how to kind of really set 2023 up for success. I know we're into February, but one of the most important things that we talk about almost every week is how we actually get your marketing strategy to really, enhance your business, support your business, and help your business grow. And I know today you're going to share with us three marketing things or tools or actions that we can take to really get our marketing to fire in 2023.
And you know why 3? Because we need a finite number so that mentally it feels manageable. So, for example, bite size. We need bite-sized pieces to go forward with. So I'm a really big believer in that, Jenni, is that I could have said, hey, let's just talk about all the digital marketing strategies that you need. And then people would just be like overwhelmed. It's like before they've even heard what they are. So when we go, let's just come up with 3. So, of course, I could give you 10, but I think let's go the top 3 that I think are super important for this year. Do you agree on that, though, that it's so much better to give people a number?
Oh, 100%. But not only that, you're just demonstrating a really great way to market your business and market tips for your business by simply using this as a title, right? So when you're talking about 3 is a really good number. They talk about 3 being the magic number. 3 is the way that, our brain it's the number of things our brain can really manage at any one time. But what's great about 3 is I can see me doing that first one, second and third one, and then they feel manageable. They don't feel overwhelming, but I can remember them. So 3 is that number that allows people to go, I can do that. I learned this thing this morning. These are the 3 things I'm going to do. These are the 3 things that I heard. it's a natural number. So 100%, give a number, sure, 5 and 10 if you're reading a long blog or doing kind of a workshop of some form. But if it's that short bite-sized post, PDF, all those things that we're going to talk about, 3 is the perfect number.
Yeah, I agree. And apparently it is 5 and 7, or is it 7 and 9 for sales? That you have to have the 7 and the 9. Yeah, it's the 7 and the 9, not the 5 and the 7. Those are the 2 winning numbers for that. But for me, it's 3 is great bite-sized pieces for snippets of information. So for those listening, try that out on your socials when you're trying to give some little tips, some bite-sized tips. So yes, good. Let's get into number 1 then. And number 1 is collect email addresses. Let this year be the big year for collecting email addresses. The question is, of course, how? And Jenni, interesting that we were just going to be talking about that next week in terms of privacy and what we do with people's email addresses and more once we've collected things. But tell us what you're doing actively to collect email addresses.
Well, this is one of those conversations that we had last week, and it's one of because our business is really focused on the consulting arm and not the coaching arm, we've been a bit slack about email collection. I'm going to put my hand up and say it's one of our target things for this year. So we have a couple of PDFs and a call to actions that we ask. When we're doing discovery calls, obviously the advantage of using a Zoom discovery call or getting people to book a time with you, it's an opportunity to get an email and start to building trust with them. But definitely magic PDFs or a sign up form on our website are our 2 main ones that we use. But we're trialing a few new ones this year with some different call to actions and landing pages just to see how they go.
So good, Jenni. And when, for example, we download the Eisenhower matrix or the Do First matrix from your website, do you leave your email address to receive that?
100%. So then
Perfect. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So every time we talk about the Eisenhower matrix, it's one of those things that we use. We do the right thing, ticking the box, getting their information. But by doing that, it also allows us to see what they're interested in. So I love having different PDFs. I like having different, because you can actually see what are your clients interested in. And you might have one PDF that fires, and you might have one that's just been sitting there and nobody wants. So you're like, okay, so maybe I need to revamp the copy or the marketing of it, or maybe even the imagery. And I know you shared a lot about that last year in terms of revamping some of the products that you have and the PDFs that you have. You know, having multiple ones allows us to really ensure we're targeting correctly.
Yes. So we have about 15 of those lead magnets, and I use them, for example, one of them in my Facebook cover on my personal and on my business. And so in the graphic for the Facebook cover, it says, click here to grab this PDF. And when you click on it, obviously it just takes you, and in the caption is where you see the link to grab that. So there's so many different ways to put it out there. Also on your YouTube banner, that's a great opportunity there. You can put a link in. Now, most people would choose to put a link in to their website, but I choose to put a link in to my lead magnet. So I'm constantly getting email addresses. So obviously in your link for your bio on Instagram, you can have it go straight to your website, or you can have it as a lead magnet link. So there's heaps of little ways, as well, obviously, as posting on your socials and in groups and things, but finding those other ways to be collecting them is such a good idea. And we have found we've had such a flurry of those around the November, December time for our clients that are product based, and they were doing lead magnets like top 10 gift ideas for kids or something, if they're selling kids gifts. And so boom, there's suddenly another 50 or another 150 email addresses that they've just gained from putting that out there. So yeah, there's lots of different ways that you can do it without it seeming spammy. But I think the key is give something of value to receive that email address in return.
And I think I remember there's a podcast I think we did last year about that, in terms of the importance of having value. So that having an exchange, if you want to take an email address or get an email address from somebody, which is the best way and the easiest way to grow your business quickly, it's about making sure there's a value exchange. It's not just, hey, sign up and I might send you something. It's, here's your gift that you want. Entice them with a gift, entice them with something of value, so that when they feel that there's been an exchange, I can give you access to my personal mailbox, but I just want something valuable that's going to really help me or solve a problem or get me on a path to solve a problem.
Absolutely. I love it. On a path to solve a problem. That is perfect.
Well, so what's in number 2?
Number 2 is diversify your social platforms. So I'm going to set a challenge to everyone out there. If your main platforms are Facebook and Instagram. This year be the one year that you try something that's a non-Zuckerberg platform. So maybe it's going to be that you're going to try and grow your your YouTube, or maybe you might try and grow your LinkedIn. But it's worth spending some time seeing what else is out there. Perhaps Pinterest is going to be an absolute magic little spot for you. So I think this is a really good one to try one new one. And so many people have all their eggs just in the basket of the metaverse. So aiming for something else is a super good idea. So I'd like to set a little challenge for that. So if you're going to take on the challenge of one new platform, great. But then I want to set a challenge within that. Can it be YouTube Shorts? So if you are already creating Reels, then just open up that app that YouTube app on your phone and post that same reel into YouTube and see what's going to happen. So we've been doing that with our clients for a few months, just testing at this stage, and it is phenomenal, the results. So we've had one client in particular in the back end of the website, we'll be going through the analytics with them. He's been putting up his reels. There's maybe only 8 of them so far that he's put up. And his traffic from YouTube, he's had over 1 million% increase in the traffic that has been getting to his website. It is absolutely extraordinary. So, and he doesn't even have a single other video posted on YouTube, and he doesn't even have a cover banner or anything. He's just put up those shorts, which have been loved.
Amazing. So when you're doing shorts on YouTube, do you have to change the format or the size or the shape? How do you just transfer it from reel? It just comes up like a normal reel.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm going to look at that. We might be having a little challenge for our team to look at YouTube Shorts this week.
Now there might be like my suggestion always with everything is test. Like throw that mud at the wall, see what's going to stick, and then figure it out from there what's going to work. But unless you just get content out there, you're not going to know, are you, what's going to work and what's not. So I just think like really go for it. Every single reel that you create, boom, put it up, and then in 6 weeks time or 3 months time, then you can do a little analysis of it and go, what worked, what didn't work, and then start delving into really who's seeing your stuff, what are they liking, what's working. But if you're thinking, well, actually I haven't made any reels yet at all, then how about just having some ideas for creating some shorts? So for example, one of them is you could promote your channel. So that is like, if you've already got a YouTube channel, promote your actual channel, because otherwise, aside from keywords and descriptions and all that, how are people going to find you? So put a reel on Instagram, promote your YouTube channel, for example, and then put that same one on your Instagram. So that's one. The next one is doing some kind of teaser about what your next content is going to be. So that's always helpful. So you and I do that, Jenni, already with our what's coming up this week in our bite-sized chat. It's going to be this topic, for example. So that's a great little teaser. The next one that everyone loves is behind the scenes. Now, I know you and I have talked about this before. We do not do enough of it, both of us. We see others out there on the socials just sharing their lunch, sharing their walks, sharing
their teeth, doing their hair. Like, come on, people.
Yep, we don't do that enough, but coming up with that sweet spot that feels good for you, but sharing a bit more behind the scenes is handy, because people are interested in what's happening and people work people. And then the final one is a really good one, is trends that are happening in your industry. So, maybe I was talking with a woman this morning at the gym, and I said, tell me about your business. She said, got a company where we transcribe things. And I'm like, do you not know about Otter? She said, she's like, yeah, but we like transcribe for film scripts and we transcribe for medical and all of this. And I'm like, wow, good for you, because yes, like Otter, we've always got to rework the Otter to then create the blog and all of that. She's like, yeah, so it just saves time because we're just typing out what they're saying. I was like, go you for not feeling panicked and going, oh, this is just going to fall by the wayside with AI. No. She's just staying in her lane and still doing super well. So I really like that. So yeah, looking at the trends and then, sharing about them is a good thing. So yeah, what do you think, Jenni? Are you going to take on that challenge of
I think we will take on the challenge, but what I just wanted, the challenge is awesome, but I want to go back a little bit, because you talked about email marketing, collecting email addresses, but we need to put out PDFs or content of some value for that. changing the channels and expanding the channels that you're working to get out of the metaverse so we can actually start to explore new options requires content. So there's this really great theme that you're talking through here, and I'm really keen to hear what number 3 is, because we're talking about how do we produce new content or repurpose content to keep our customers engaged, to find new ways to get them to come and see us, to engage with our content, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or Insta or wherever you're using, or LinkedIn. But I love that idea, so that these 2 marketing strategies are really about finding ways for you to share your content in different and repurpose that content, because once you create it once, it doesn't just live in one spot. We can repurpose it and repurpose it and repurpose it and slice and dice it for so many different platforms, whether it's resizing it, putting new captions over the top of it, changing the background image, so many ways we can use that. And that idea of taking the challenge to find a new platform to use that content, I think is amazing. And that's one that everybody could do today. Everybody could just upload their reels from their Insta or their stories straight into YouTube today. And as you say, let's come back in 6 weeks' time and see how we're doing it. So we will take up that challenge, I think, and see how we go.
Yay, good. And make sure that before you do, go and look at your analytics and see what's traffic is being driven from YouTube to your site, and see what happens in 6 weeks' time of how that has changed. Because
we might come back and report that. Team,
yeah,
listening, we're going to do that in 6 weeks. At the end of March, we're going to be talking about how our shorts went on YouTube.
Very, very good.
Say that like I know what I'm talking about. Like I feel like that old person going, I've got the phone. I'm going onto the web now. But we're going to in 6 weeks, we'll be so comfortable about talking about YouTube shorts. We'll be like, yeah, we know what we're doing now.
So my third one is, again, no surprise here, but it's about building relationships and building community. So every time I talk about this in my group coaching, I can see half the group going, oh, and the other half group going, yes. Every time she says it, I'm like, yes, I've done it. I'm doing it. Da, da, da. The other half is still resistant to it. But that's all about that Facebook group. You absolutely have to have a Facebook group. And I often get asked, why? What's the difference between a page and a group? I've already got them. And so I use the same analogy every time, which is, let's just think about you going for a walk with your dog in the evenings, and you pass by the house and you look at the front yard, you look at the driveway, you might look at the car, you look at, have they got weeds going on? Have they got rubbish in the front yard? What does that front part of their house look like? And you are just observing and peeking into a snippet of something. That's a Facebook page. The Facebook group is when you get into the backyard, and that's where you attend the barbecue or go to the pool party. It's where you have a drink. It's where you sit and have a meal with someone, sit and have a chat. You might even get invited into the house. And or you might go in there to use the bathroom. Whatever it is, you're involved with them. So you've got a nice connection going on, and you're meeting others because others get invited over too. So each time you pop in, there might be someone else new to meet. So I really like that front yard, backyard, because it's very clear and easy to understand. So that is Facebook business page. You need it. That's where people are glancing at you, seeing what's happening. The backside of things going on, backside, that's an interesting choice of words. But you know, what's more about building relationships and community is happening in your Facebook group.
Yeah, I love that. And particularly if you make it an exclusive Facebook group, if you have it where there needs to be, you know, some questions to come in, so you're screening, so there's a sense of exclusivity, or a sense, if you've got an online program, setting up a private group, an exclusive group for people that allows you to then actually provide upgrades or upsells, provides you to have that remarketing opportunity because you have that group. They know who you are. I love that, because they know who you are, they know what you do, they've been involved already. And they're the clients that are going to actually enable you to actually continue to grow your business and grow your opportunities for services or new products, because they're wanting to work with you. They're wanting to play. They're wanting to be invited into the house. I love that analogy so much. They're wanting to come to the barbecue. So I think that's great. So we've got email marketing, which actually gets those email addresses. We've got finding new ways to share your amazing content and just repurposing your content into so many imaginative ways. And I know our team are madly writing notes because I can't do this and write notes. So I know my team have got those that will be starting to do that. And I love that third one about the community. We've talked a lot about community and the importance of creating community, particularly out of the last couple of years when people have been feeling isolated. And there is a sense that, well, yes, we're back to normal, whatever normal is these days, but having that community and having someone to kind of, tap you on the shoulder and be like, how you doing? And feel like you in that kind of, in a global group, I think is really important.
And, I want to go full circle with the third one, taking us back to number one of collecting email, which is my top tip, which is the questions that you ask people that they need to answer before you allow them into your group. The first question should be, what's your email address? Hello. So you're collecting those and you need that because you want to then be able to share stuff of value with them. So if they don't provide it, then should they really be in your group? And of course, they can always unsubscribe, but you need them to answer questions because they need to, show that they're actually going to be of value in the group too. Because if you've just got a massive group with a lot of people just very, very quiet, that's not doing you any favors for the algorithm.
Yeah. And it's about quality, isn't it? There's a kind of,
Absolutely.
when you get to that community group, you want to start with quality, and having that exclusivity and making sure the right people are in the group means that you are going to get that conversation. It's going to create that buzz. It's going to create interest. So when new people join that group, they go, wow, this is such a dynamic group. I'm so excited to be in this group, rather than and I've done that so many times. You join a group and you're like, no one's posted since like last year. What's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I did a bit of a group board, I should say but I did that kind of last year going, why am I in these things? Like there's so many groups that I'm in that I'm like, why? Because it's no longer my target market, or there's not a lot of noise in those groups anymore. So it's really important to make sure we're refreshing. So I think that links to that second point, though, finding new ways to use your content. It's also about saying, just continue to review what you're doing and see what's working for you. And doing that test and measure, so important.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I'd like to give one tiny little example of magic with Facebook groups. So about a month ago, or it was actually just before Christmas, so a couple of months ago, I'd been talking to this client for quite some time about the Facebook group, and he just wasn't convinced. So I said, come on, let's go for it. So we set it up. He sent out a newsletter to his database, which isn't huge, and invited people into the group. It's a very exclusive group because his topic is very, very niche, and his business area. And so very quickly, he got about 100 people in the group, just purely from that couple of emails. Now, what's happening in that group is blowing his mind, because all of those are previous customers or customers to be, and so it's a good, very, very warm audience already. And so what's happening, because it's a group, there's so much more awareness going on, because when you post in your group, people are going to get a notification that you have, whereas when you post on a page, no one hears about it. So that's already a good start. So what I said to him is, every Monday, post a question and schedule it. So we've got all these graphics already set up. He created the questions. We just turned them into graphics, and we then went and scheduled them in the group for every Monday. So for example, on the very first question, as I said, it was just under 100 at that point in there. So the first question was seen by 83 people, and it got 26 comments. Now that doesn't happen on a page that has 100 followers. The very next one, seen by 84 people, 25 comments. And then it's just grown and grown and grown. Not the numbers of people in the group, because he doesn't need that. It's about having the right people in it for him. But the people are totally, totally engaged. So it's just extraordinary. So there you go. It doesn't need to be daunting. You don't need to think, oh God, how am I going to get 100,000 people in my group? You don't want 100,000 people in your group. You want the right people in your group that are actually going to be there for the right reason and engage with you.
And when you're talking about, you don't want, thousands and thousands and millions and thousands of followers, it reminds me of I can't remember the name, the gentleman did it, but he actually wrote a book around essentially the 1,000 followers is the ideal number. And I'm gonna have to remember it and find it and come back to it. But it's basically saying that 1,000 people is the right number for your business, because if you have 1,000 fans, 1,000 fans who want to buy everything you need, imagine that. if you only have 1,000. And I know that says only 1,000 for a lot of people who are just starting, like, I don't have 1,000 yet, but 1,000 is the number that we're aiming for as well. Because 1,000 people means you're getting engagement with them. They're working with you, and they're going to bring people in, and they're going to change in and out with people that they know. But there's this amazing novel that just, white paper that was done ages ago, I think 20 years ago, about 1,000 raving fans. And that's the same concept with Facebook groups. If you've got a coaching program or a service, if 100 is your sweet spot, for me, doing our bomb workshops, 100 a year is the number that we're aiming for 100 women a year and business owners to come and join our retreats every year. That's a number that we're comfortable with. We don't need 10,000.
Beautiful.
And I love that. It's about saying, what do you need for your business? It goes back to, you don't need to be, have 85 million followers, because a lot of those 85 million followers may not be purchasing from you. They may be bought followers. They may not even be real followers. Like,
exactly.
Let's get focused on what's going to help your business and being really targeted. So we talked about emails, so important. I love how you brought that back into the community groups. Finding new channels to post your content and really repurpose your content, but challenge yourself to step outside the places that you know, because there might be a whole hidden gem of people wanting to hear from you, and it's your job to make sure that they can hear you and find you, not theirs to find you. And then the third one I love is about using building a community and creating a space where people can come, engage, and be served, and then actually want to be, continue to build that community for you and your business.
Totally. So tell people, Jenni, about your group and how people can find your Facebook group.
So our Facebook group is People, Purpose, Profit. We started it actually just before the COVID pandemic, and it's a place where people can come. We're all about sharing ideas about business. So tips and hints and promoting your business. It's really around giving people an opportunity to showcase who they are and showcase what they can offer for people within that small business. So we've got coaches, we've got copywriters, we've got medical professionals, we've got photographers, we've got IT people. It's such a diverse group of people in our group that are really just sharing value and content and letting you know where you can find and connect with them. And what about your group? Your group blows everyone's mind. Your passionate, purposeful women group.
Oh, I was going to actually mention the Hello Media group.
Oh yes, that one too.
Two groups. So the first one that you mentioned, I just couldn't even get tied with my own group, Positive Passionate Business Women. So we have two groups for that. So there's a general group that anyone can join, and then there's the second group down that level down from that, which is the huddle, Positive Passionate Business Woman huddle. So that's when you're actually a financial member. So there's lots of things happening in both. And people can share about their business, but my tip is don't go promo, just go offer. So share your lead magnet in there. Don't just say, hey, buy from me. Yeah, and then my other Facebook group that I'm actually way more active in is the Hello Media Facebook group. And so you can pop in there and go, I'm actually not really sure how to post a YouTube short. And then one of my team will just answer that for you, or we'll give you a how-to guide or whatever it is. So it's a great place to get advice and get help. We're putting tips in there every week. Plus, I do a summary every month of what's going on in the last month in digital marketing and what we need to learn from that. So, lots happening in both. So, Positive Passionate Businesswoman and Hello Media.
The Hello Media team is definitely the place to go if you are struggling about how to do the shorts, as a really great example. But there's so much content that you put in that group and so much value that you give. But what I love about that group is people sharing what they're doing and sharing their wins and asking those questions that everybody wants to know the answer to, but they're just not sure where to put the question out. So definitely, if you have anything to do with digital marketing, business strategy, it's one of the best groups to go to. 100, our team play in there quite regularly.
Thanks, Jenni. I love it when people ask questions, because I think a lot of the time you're nervous and you're awkward. You don't want to look like you feel like you're dumb or something. So I love it when the questions come in. I'm like, go you, because remember, other people are thinking the same thing. We've all got the same questions going on with our business.
That has been such a great podcast chat today, Kylie. I love our Friday chats, and I know every time it gives me a list of things that I need to do and talk to my team after and say, okay, we're going to be doing all these things. Find our shorts on YouTube now. We're going to start actually promoting and finding these new ways. I love that, getting out of the metaverse, particularly because it's about saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Not all people play in the same sandpit. So find some new sandpits for you to share your business. But it's been so much fun chatting with you today. I love our conversations. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit about that kind of how to use the information that you get when you're collecting emails, which is so important, but how we're going to use that information to really maximize the value of our business and get engagement from our clients. And we're going to talk about that topic around privacy and how to use data and how to use the information in emails so you can really grow your business using email marketing, which I'm very excited about. But thank you. You have an amazing week, Kylie, but thank you for everyone who's tuning in to this episode of Bite Size Business Life podcast. Make sure you subscribe and follow us so you don't miss any future episodes. But it's so nice to see you. We'll see you next week, and have an amazing week. Share your wins. Tell us in the group. Tell us in the chat how you're going. And we'd love to see the link for your YouTube short channel. If that's what it's called, I don't know. We'll find that out. Start posting so we can sort of connect and help you grow your business as well.
Awesome. Look forward to it. Thanks so much, Jenni. Nice to catch up. Bye.